Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing with the Dalek remote control build from Hachette Partworks with issue 35 through 38. So before we get down to building, let's take a look at our magazines. We get our cover as always, contents page. Adventures in Time and Space covers the War Doctor and the Engines of War, which I believe was a Big Finish story. We then get behind the scenes looking at the Dalek visual effects through the series, and then we get our first section of skirt baseplate to start assembly on. 36. Again, contents. Adventures in Time and Space looks at the Expedition, which is episode 9 of the first season of Doctor Who. We get a look at the 5th Doctor versus the Daleks in the Time Vortex. Continuation of our base plate. Issue 37. Adventures in Time and Space looks at part 1 of Resurrection of the Daleks. Anatomy of the Dalek looks at the Berserker Dalek. The Time War forced the Daleks to move beyond their standard model and create more specialised units. So I'm assuming this is a Dalek that appeared in one of the Big Finish stories. Very interesting design. I'm not familiar with this one at all. Certainly very, very different from the standard Dalek. Get some more of the skirt section, and then finally issue 38. Adventures in Time and Space gives us part 1 of Death to the Daleks, which was a 3rd Doctor story starring Sarah Jane Smith. Time Vortex looks at the 3rd Doctor and his encounters with the Daleks, and then our skirt assembly. So, without any further ado, let's get down to assembly. Let's bring this around. Let's move that out of the way. Let's bring that up a bit. And first off, we get part 35. Open our magazine so we know what we're looking at. There we go. So we get, what do we get? We get our pedestal and plates. We get a bunch of HP screws. Some JP screws. JP screws. And then our skirt holders, I think. Yep, our skirt holders. And then we should get our metal base plate, which we get here. Let's get the screwdriver and let's get to assembly. So, making sure this is turned up the right way. We then want to get one of our base plates and screw this on. So this will go like so. There we go. That will go in like that. We will take one of these plates, and with these dots facing outward, that will go over the top, and then we need 3 of the JP screws to screw these into place. Come on. Start with the middle one. so it's got something to grip. Then we screw this into place. It gets stuck. Next screw. Then third screw. He says, okay. Oh, for the love of, that's it. There we go. There we go. So we have that. Or is that upside down? I fear I may have screwed that in upside down. Yes. Excuse me. Yes, I've accidentally done that the wrong way around. I will quickly fix that off camera. Okay, I fixed that and I've started this one. Fits on the opposite side. There will be a slight overhang on this tab here, but that is to be expected and is shown in the instructions as being the case. So it's just a case of finishing these screws up if they will go. Having problems today. Oh, for the love of come on. That's one more, and we will be done with these ones. There we go, that's those two bits done. We then have this clip. This will come in, and so with the plate facing like this with the groove to your right and these indents facing towards you, this clip comes in and sits here, he says. Come on, there we go. They sit in here. There will be a slight overhang there. Take these screws and screw them in, and then this one doesn't want to stay at all. Come on. Hold that into place like so. I don't know what is going on today, but this does not want to hold them. Let's see if a different one, maybe that's why. I'll take this one. Sorry about this. It seems to be that the screws today just do not want to go in. Oh. That's it, there we go. Go. There we go. That's those fitted. There we go. That is issue 35 done. Put that out of the way. Get rid of those little screws. Don't need those. Then we have issue 36. We're doing very similar builds. Move those out of the way. Get those pieces. We get our HP screws, and then finally some JP screws. This appears to be a pretty much identical process as to before. Make sure the plate is round the right way, so with the edges facing towards you, the cut-in parts facing to the left of you, and the semicircle groove facing away from you. Take the first one of these, and that will come in and fit over these 3 points here. Take one of these fittings and make sure that the dots are facing outwards, like so. Take our first screw. Take our second screw. Take our third screw. Take our third. That's screwed in nice and tight. Double check that is definitely correct. Yes, it is. Same again. This piece lining up the way as the 3 tabs. The dots facing outward. There will be a slight overhang again. goes in with our screws. And same again here. Then we bring in one of these and they will fit over the respective points. There's a third one here which will go into our previous base plate, which we will fix in a moment. Let's start this again. That's, there we go. One. Two. Second one. Three. Knock at the door, and then the same on the previous plate. Five and 6. Pick up sticks. There we go. Let's get rid of these. $37. We get something very different this time. Let's open this. Let's see. That one. Get screws, Allen key, and our base plate. Away. We get a pine key. We get a whole bunch of screws and bolts. And then this has to position the 2 base plates from the previous issue on your work surface as shown. Make sure they're the right way as shown. Yep. Take the base plate and note the orientation. So there's one side which has 3 bigger screw holes and then 2 smaller ones, and then there's this one which has the 2 bigger and 1 smaller. You want this side facing towards the rest of the plating. Let's move those out of the way. align the 8 screw holes. So we align the screw holes. Okay, so first off, these will cannot get these to line up at all. Why is that? Let's take another look at this. So, go back to the beginning. Facing outwards and facing outwards. Correct and correct. Okay, I'm going to have to look at this off camera for a bit and figure this out. I will be back. Okay, sorry about that. It took me a minute to sort it out. I was misaligning it. Basically, this screw hole obviously goes over the cuts. That's why I couldn't get it to align. So you just need to get the screws lined up, screw them in, and then tighten them with the Allen key. I would suggest holding on to the Allen key. I don't know if we're going to get a second one for future bolts or not, so I would highly recommend keeping the Allen key. We then move on to issue 38. And it has us make sure that we fit and tighten our hex head screws with this. Get some JP screws like so, and get some more HP screws. Yep, like that. And one of those doohickey, one of those thingamajigs. Another couple plates, a thingy, and one more plate. So that can go away, and that can go in the bin. Right, initially we need to take this and tighten all of these, just to make sure they are tightened. One. Two. Lock on my shirt. 3, 4. Knock at the door. 5. 6. Pick up sticks. 7. 8. Big fat 10. Oh, that's that one done. There we go. That's those done. Taking this plate and making sure it is aligned correctly, so from underneath the flat edge is facing towards you, the cut is facing away. You take one of these and that will plug into the 3-prong at the back. We take our screws again and the clip. Clip faces outwards. Screwdriver. Screw. 1. 2. And one more. 3. 1 more. 3. 3. We need to take this piece, and this one will screw into these 3 here with the longer edge facing away, or facing out, should I say. Another clip, pegs facing that way. This certainly gives us a good indication of the size of the Dalek's base plate, which will obviously be slightly bigger once we've got the edge of the skirt on, but not by much. So it is going to be a pretty big machine when all is said and done. There we go. Then finally we take this one and this goes in here, and then we will be done for this month. And once again, it feels like we've made some real progress. This of course now means that you essentially have, what was it, 3, maybe 4 or 5 bits, depending on how you count it, lying around. We've obviously got the dome, the Dalek chamber, the grills, and now the base plate. And there we have that. Coming up in the next issue is another one of the base plates. And there we have it. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, stay safe, and remember, freedom is a right, not a privilege.